Hi, my name is Rebecca Salter. I'm in speech 1321, and I'm going to do a persuasive speech on how technology is bad for us. And even me personally, growing up over the years, I've technically grown up as technology has advanced. So I have adapted to all the new technology that has come about over the last 30 years. Even though I'm using technology now to record my speech, even with all the benefits that it's done, it still does more bad than good. With how useful technology is in our everyday life, we can only naturally concentrate on the benefits we as a society receive from all the advancements technology has made over the years. But it has many repercussions for many ages, for all ages, in affecting children's development, causing health problems and bad habits in adults, and how much we as a society depend on technology, and why slowly but surely the effects it's causing people are greater than the benefits. And the main ones where it starts that it's affecting other children, because it's starting with them at an early age instead of people adapting. That's all they know. And in Pamela DeLoach's article of the 4 negative sides of technology, it mainly pertains on how it affects a child's development, their brain waves, and how they accept information, how they put out information. The first one is technology changes the way children think. Using technology can change a child's brain. An article in Psychology Today says that the use of technology can alter the actual wiring of the brain. More than a third of children under the age of 2 use mobile media. That number only increases as the child get older. With 95% of teens 12 to 17 spending time basically all online, the time spent with technology does not give kids newfangled ways of doing things. Like, they know one way of doing it, and that's the only way they know how. So if that way is taken away, they're not really sure about how to handle it. So it cuts into the way the basic, how they're accepting information, how they react to certain things, how they're going to continue to grow up and develop with this constantly growing technology in our society. The second one is technology can change the way children feel toward themselves and towards others. Using technology can affect a child's ability to empathize with others. A study on 2 groups of 6th graders found that 2 kids who had no access to electronic devices for 5 days were better at picking up on emotions and nonverbal cues of photos of faces than the group that used the devices all week long. So even it withdraws us from understanding how a person works, because they're not spending a lot of their time with the person, they're spending it with a machine. The third one is also technology with children can put your private information at risk, whether it be pictures, information. I want to say about 25% of teenagers have taken part in sexting of nudity, sending their naked pictures out, sending information out that other people didn't need to know. And it not only affects the child, but it also affects the parent, because they're still the child, so they don't really understand the full effect of their actions at the point. And number 4 is that the more children are using technology, the more they are most likely to be obese, because there's less physical activity. So the more the child stays in the house, playing on the phone, playing on gadgets, it may very possibly be working on their mind, but that is also being affected. It's also affecting them physically. they don't want to go outside anymore. They don't want to run and play. All they want to do is just sit there at a screen and play whatever it is that they want to play or watch or listen to. Or instead of, going outside, playing ball, running around, climbing a tree, doing things that were done in my childhood. And the next is that it causes health problems and bad habits in adults. So adults have adapted to this technology. They have not grown up with it, so it affects us differently. And to start with the health problems, the first one is depression, because you're constantly plugged into technology that you start depending on it. So when you don't have it, you get depressed because you don't have everyone that you used to talk to. You can make up who you are, and so you're constantly connected, and so when you're not, you feel like there's a part of you missing, which could cause depression. Stress, stress comes from also being constantly connected and plugged into technology, and it causes extra stress that was not there before because technology was not always there. The next one is that it causes neck and head pain. That, of course, when you're holding your phone in your hand and you're tilting your neck and looking down at the screen and constantly playing or looking on the internet or Facebook, it's putting a strain on your neck, it's putting pressure on your head, it's causing migraines, it's causing neck pains, and it's causing permanent damage. You wouldn't think that that would cause any damage, but over a period of time, it actually does. The next one is loss of hearing or and eyesight. Using the headphones all the time, having it constantly plugged into your ears, having that sound constantly bounce back and forth in between your ears is just damaging your eardrum. And then constantly looking at the screen is like constantly looking at a computer screen, which dries your eyes out, it strains them. So it's the same effect, and basically the reason it affects us more than a computer does is because people are always on their phones nowadays. And in the bad habits, it starts with isolation. You just feel more comfortable about cutting people off from the real world and being on the internet and being able to create whoever you want to create and be able to put yourself out there in ways that you wouldn't. So you isolate yourself from social engagements just because the internet engagements are more appeasing to you because you have completely separated yourself from society. It also causes lack of social skills. Like, of course, if you're isolating yourself, you have no social skills. You're not around people enough. You don't know how to pick up on nonverbal cues, on facial expressions. And so the isolation bleeds into the lack of social skills, because if you're isolating yourself, you have no idea on how to interact with a society. It also causes a warped sense of reality. Also, the isolation bleeds onto this as well. It lets you become whoever you want to become. So when people are talking over the internet or chat rooms or email or whatever they're doing, they can become whoever they want. So they would rather be this fictional fake character than they would the real person of who they are deep down, because it's not acceptable to them. And the last one is you develop lack of social and sexual boundaries. In social, much in the same way that people overshare on social media sites, you're sharing too much information about yourself that doesn't need to be shared, that everyone can see, that you don't know necessarily that everyone can see. So you don't understand, since you're lacking the social skills because of the isolation, you're losing the boundaries of what's appropriate and what's not appropriate on the internet to share with everyone. And the sexual boundaries is that everyone's basically sharing everything over the internet, and people don't understand that once you share something with someone, basically everybody can see it. That and so even after it's affecting us as children, it gives us health problems and bad habits as adults. We also need to talk about why relying on technology is a bad thing for us as a society. And it starts off with considering that we can just get on the internet, type in our question, and it gives us an answer. We're always searching for a short-term fix. It's never sitting down, thinking about it, thinking outside the box to see how you can work around it in a better, efficient way. It's all about what fixes it the quickest, because that's what you're used to. You're used to quick minute fixes. So, and then also that if we're completely dependent on technology, the one thing that would kill us mainly would be a power outage. That means everything that we love, internet, computers, TV, television, video games, everything that we are used to is gone, because without that we have no technology. It needs electricity to do what we love that it does. So people who are completely dependent on it are not sure on how to handle that, or are more stressed out when things do like that happen, because they don't know how to handle it without just freaking, they don't know how to fill their time better without technology. They have no idea how to, because they've never had to. And how it affects us as people is it separates us from people. It gives us a constant shield around people to where we don't have to sit there and truly interact with people. We can sit there and be this fake person that they think we are, instead of being a person that you meet in person. You have a meeting, you shake their hand, you talk this out, and you come to an agreement at the end. So with that being said, like I said, there are many good points about technology, and it has advanced tremendously over just my lifetime. But when you go back and you look at all the effects that it has on us as children and adults and our whole society, you can see that technology is good, but the effects that it has on us outweigh the good that it's doing, because it's affecting us to where we can't operate without it. And we operated for unsure of how many years we operated without it, but we operated a very long time, even here in this country, without technology. And I believe that we can continue and start over even if there was no technology. So thank you.